Bryce, hey, congratulations for
Thank you so
being
much.
part of this Nickelodeon series, Big Nate.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So tell us what initially attracted you to do this project because it looks like it's a whole lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. It's fun through and through. It's always something that I wanted to do, playing an animated character on a series like this, and for Nickelodeon, no less. Like, that's super cool. And so I feel so like honored and grateful to be a part of this. It's an amazing cast, but also this character, I feel like I can really relate to her. So that for me, growing up, would watch. I would watch cartoons and would love to see characters that looked like me and that I could relate to. And Dee Dee is, this young, excited, high energy Black theater nerd. And I feel like I'm like, yo, that's me. So for me, that was kind of just like a no brainer. It was just like, I'm so grateful that I get to play this character because I can relate to her so much.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what your junior high was like.
I can say, I mean, I honestly don't remember much. I feel like maybe my brain blocked a lot out now that I'm trying to recall, but I know I wasn't as confident as Dee Dee. Dee Dee is just, she and Nate especially have this confidence. They know who they are, and that's rare at 11 years old. And they are still finding themselves, and they're still growing, and they're still learning a lot. But where they are, they're confident. And what they love, they're confident in the things that they love and their hobbies and things like that. Like Dee Dee is passionate about theater. She's like, yeah, I am an actor. I am an actor. Like, that is, she's very, very sure of that part of herself. And that's really beautiful, I think, to see. Because yeah, middle school for me, I was always into performing arts and theater, always. But I wasn't confident off the stage as much as I was on stage. On stage is where you kind of come into your own, but Dee Dee carries that confidence from the stage to every part of her life.
Well, I have to adore Dee Dee as a character because she is Nate's best friend, and that's she's in a lot of scenes throughout the series, so that's great.
Yeah, it's super exciting. And I get to play off of Ben, and Ben and I are actually pals. We did a show together. We did a theater project. We were in a musical together before we got this job. And so it was really cool to then, work in this virtual space together because we already had a rapport, but also with both of our theater backgrounds, it was fun to add a lot of that energy and play off of each other in that way.
Now, I understand this is your first voicing experience, right?
This is my first animated experience as well, or definitely. I did a video game around the same time. I got a video game job around the same time. So technically, yeah, this is my first. I did those in tandem. So it's definitely taken some getting used to at the beginning because I wasn't jumping into this in normal circumstances. I had to do this in my makeshift home studio and be my own sound engineer at home and things like that. But we have such an amazing team at Nickelodeon. So we have support from real professional, amazing sound engineers who can help us along the way. And yeah, so it has definitely been new, but super exciting. And I think my musical theater background kind of helped me with it as well, just knowing my voice.
So how did you develop that rapport with Ben if you mainly worked with yourself?
Well, Ben and I came in with a rapport from the show we did prior. So having a history with Ben, like literally just at the end of 2019, Ben and I were in this musical together and bonded over that. And then getting this show, we saw each other at callbacks for Big Nate. And it was like, hey, what are you doing here? And then at that callback, I met Arnie Pantoja, who plays Teddy. And so it was cool that, once we got the jobs, it was like, what's going on, friend? Like, so cool to see you here in this virtual space. And then, making friends with everyone else in the cast was quick and easy because everyone just came in with this positivity and excitement to be even in a virtual space, just to be in the space. Everyone came in with that good energy. And so I feel like it was easy to build a rapport as a cast because we got to do group recording sessions. We weren't doing everything isolated and by ourselves. It was isolated, but with Zoom. So,
That's pretty often. That's a whole lot different from a lot of how do they do animation recordings.
Yes, very unique process for sure. And they were really innovative and quickly adaptive at Nickelodeon to figure this out and to get it working, because we truly recorded this entire show from home. So, I mean, that is a marvel in and of itself.
So how did you come up with the voice of Dee Dee? Was that very natural and easy for you, or you had to work it on a while? I mean, how do you try to make it, I want to say, sound younger?
Well, I mean, and we were all, I think, pretty conscious about, okay, we're playing kids, so we should come in and you know, really put on a heavy affectation to our voice to make us sound like kids, you know. And then, but we were directed brilliantly by Mitch Watson to be ourselves, essentially. And I think that helped us. It's a really grounded performance, vocal performance from everyone across the board. And yes, we do put on some little affectations here or there, but Dee Dee is really just like right here in my voice. You know, she's a little more forward and nasal, coming if, you know, using more singing terms, but she, yeah, I say I would definitely place her a little higher with a more nasal quality, but not that much more than my actual voice. A lot of the times I feel like I'm just speaking as Dee Dee. It's the energy, I think, that makes the voices so specific, because Dee Dee and Nate as well just have such high energy all the time. So that's I think where the uniqueness comes in the voice.
Well, the energy is very important, especially the fact that you're playing a junior high, you know, kid, a junior high student.
They're very particular junior high students, I'd say. But because with, you know, Nate and his crazy antics, and then Dee Dee with her theater antics, they're both really big personalities. They're huge personalities, actually, and they balance each other out really well. But you know, we go from 0 to like 200 oftentimes vocally on the same page. You know, we could just be like speaking here very calmly, and it's like blah blah blah, Nate, blah blah blah, and then it's like Nate, you know, and you're like screaming. And same thing with Ben's character, Nate. So it, I think that's where we have to take care of our voices, and that's where we very much think about, okay, when are the highs and when are the lows in a scene. So.
Is that easy to turn on and off for you? That energy?
I think it becomes second nature after a while. Yeah, I think it becomes second nature after a while. There are days where I don't get to warm up my voice as thoroughly as I would like, and I hop into a record, but my body kind of knows where I need to go anyway. And then, you know, you'll have Mitch saying, Bryce, I mean, I know you're at 100, but can you, like, I mean, even more? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can, yeah. And so then I'm like, all right, let's go. But my body knows that's typically Dee Dee. 100 isn't enough. You have to go above that. And because I have a singing background, vocally, I know where to place my voice. I know how to use my voice in a way that, like, okay, you want me to scream? I got you. And I'll scream for days because it's a very controlled, placed scream, but, you know, it translates as, you know, crazy and wild. And so that's fun, having a chance to use my singing technique in different ways than I ever would have imagined.
And by chance, did you had a chance to read the books or looked at the comic strips beforehand, or once you got the job, you had to become familiar with it?
It was once I got the job. I apparently was living under a rock and was not very aware of the Big Nate franchise. And then once I got this job and, you know, would tell family, you know, very discreetly tell certain family members and stuff. I had some family who was like, oh my gosh, you know, my kids, your little cousins, you know, they read those books. And I'm like, oh, oh my gosh, how am I so late to this? So since then, yes, I have definitely checked out the comic strips. I have some of the books here, and it's been so exciting to see how big this fan base is. And that, I mean, I was already excited to have this job, but then that on top of it is like, oh, people love Big Nate, and they already love this character and his, you know, friends, and it's just such a privilege to be a part of something that is already so loved. And then now we get to, you know, put voices to that and hopefully carry forth, you know, this amazing legacy of Big Nate.
So what, during your research process and, you know, just self-discovery, what is the biggest thing that you uncovered about Big Nate that everyone loves so much?
I think the theme, especially today in particular, actually is confidence. He's a really confident kid. And I think Dee Dee also has that trait as well of confidence. I mentioned before, you know, she just kind of knows who she is and knows what she loves to do. It's acting, and she's an actor, and, you know, she's Nate's friend, and she'll keep him grounded when she can. And then Nate is like, I am who I am. And, you know, I want everyone to know how awesome I am. You know, it's his mission in life to spread, you know, the gospel of his awesomeness around in whatever way he can. And but that is something that I think is really special, because even though with Nate it can get out of hand, and that's why he has his friends to balance him, it's hard for, I think, kids to, and especially for me, to have that kind of confidence, that unwavering confidence about who I am, where I am in life, what I want to do, and letting the journey be messy, but letting myself be okay with that messiness, because it's never going to just be easy and, you know, straightforward. Life can throw some curveballs at you, and Nate takes these curveballs and will throw a prank back. You know, he faces these things head on with crazy hijinks and the support of his friends, and that's really special. That's cool.
That is pretty cool. And I figured since you've done so much voicing for the series already, you already have a favorite episode, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do have a few favorites, actually, some of which I cannot disclose at this point in time. But one favorite that was, I know in the screening package, was the Valentine's episode, just because it's like a zombie apocalypse, but for Valentine's Day. And it's just not what you would expect from a Valentine's Day episode, but it is Valentine's Day of horror. So, you know, with that, you just, a lot of craziness ensues, and Dee Dee gets to have this really dramatic scene with Nate before she succumbs to the horror of this particular Valentine's Day. And then Ben, I remember when we recorded it, I mean, we just had so much fun. It was so melodramatic. It was a full-on soap opera moment, and Mitch directed us to just really go there with the drama. He was like, be ridiculously dramatic. And we we're like, okay, let's do it. And so, you know, we get to have fun like that. And so I think that one just has such a great fun memory to it. So I think, yeah, the Valentine's Day episode for sure.
That is a great episode. And I particularly love this animated series because there's a huge difference when it goes from comic strip to something like this for Nickelodeon.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really cool animation style too, with the 3D animation plus the 2D to sort of like give a great nod to Lincoln's work with the comic strip. And then also a lot of nostalgia factor with 2D animation, but then keeping it current and progressive with this 3D CGI animation that's so tangible. It's so cool to watch, and it's so different from other things that are on TV right now. So it's really unique in that sense.
That is great, and I can't wait for everyone to check out, and hopefully we get to hear more of your lovely voice through the series and other future projects. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and cross my fingers. Hopefully there'll be a singing episode that they'll put in to showcase your talents, of course.
Thank you. Stay tuned. You might not be far off.
Well, it's excellent. Thank you very much, Bryce.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Likewise.
Bye.